Alright, hello. Thought I'd show you the nice gardening my wife does here in the backyard. Um, let's see, a very quick video to wrap up week 4. I know it wrapped up Saturday, today's Monday, and then just a little introduction into week 5. Um, okay, so in week 4, right, the discussion forums, they covered 3 things in particular. One was the environmental analysis, and we focused on stakeholder analysis and the competitive analysis. I made the point in my summary post that you can sometimes think of the competitive analysis as a more macro sort of view of the industry and the environment that you're working in, and the stakeholder analysis is akin to microeconomics and looking more at what's happening immediately around the nonprofit itself. And I guess we're in the flight path today. That's an airplane going to Bradley Airport in Hartford. We're about 20 miles from there. In the second discussion forum question, we talked about the Buckner International Organization, and we used that as a focus point for looking at corporate level decision making. And some of you did a really nice job of comparing and contrasting all the various areas of corporate level decision making to the facts of the case. The obvious area was that of diversification, where the organization moved from children and family into elder services. And then lastly, we talked about planning and the components of planning, and most of you focused on the components, the process components of planning. And we were talking about those components in relationship to the case study, Youth Haven. And y'all did really well. But I did want to highlight, as I did in my summary there, that the initial framing and the predisposition aspects of the inputs to the process are really critical to understand and to focus on when you start a planning process. Particularly if you're moving along in the planning process and the rollout or the how the planning process is evolving doesn't seem to be rational to you, right? If you're like the ED and you're trying to have your board, bring your board along in a planning process, and the board seems to be like over here, or the group as a whole, no matter who you're doing the planning process with, if you kind of think it should be moving one way and it's going in another direction, yeah, think hard about the framing of your effort and the predisposition of those who are involved. Often you'll find reasons for this sort of divergence between what you're thinking and they're thinking is really based upon your starting points. You're sort of defining the challenge of the planning process differently. You're sort of emotionally attached or have an emotional framework from which you're working that are different, and it's going to lead you in different directions. And Jody had a really nice initial post regarding framing and predisposition, and I think that Marcel Johnson, as the ED, was sort of clueless about the importance of framing and predisposition. And so when the board didn't respond to her facts and figures and the logic of her analysis, she was sort of stuck because she didn't have anything else to think about in terms of a rationale or a reason for why the board was not seeing the power of her logic. Okay. So as we move forward, we're going to talk about two things moving forward. And, if you refer back to page 50 and 51 in the Brown text, it talks about ways that nonprofits try to deliver or create public value, public benefit. And one of those is service delivery, and the other is advocacy. And this week we'll be looking at individual chapters on each. I guess as it relates to service delivery, I just wanted to share this little mirror image of what Professor Brown has provided us in the program service chapter. And these are simply, if you ever take a program evaluation course, you'll be thinking about these different types of evaluation, which really mirror many of the themes that Professor Brown talks about in his chapter, right? He first talks about identifying the need. He then talks about a logic model that presents a theory of the cause and effect as to why the need exists. And then if you know the causal factors of the need, then you can design a program that actually addresses those causal needs. And then in terms of evaluation, if you want to implement the program, or if you have a design for the program that will address the needs, the causal factors that create the need, then you want to make sure that you're actually implementing the program as it was designed. And then if you implement the program as designed, then the next level evaluation is, did you get the outcomes? Did you get the impact on the need that you were hoping based upon your logic model, your design, and a faithful implementation of that program design? And if all those things occur, then maybe the last thing you want to consider in terms of evaluation is the cost effectiveness of the program. And I just thought it was interesting that these are the things that you think about when you want to evaluate program services, and they're exactly the themes that Professor Brown highlights in the design of the program. Okay, just a little sidelight there. And then in the next chapter we talked about the importance of advocacy and all the factors that go into that. I would dare say that advocacy is, right, the way to impact systems. Program design and service delivery is the way you help individuals, but advocacy and changing public policy and impacting the design of huge systems is a way that you can positively or negatively impact large groups of people. Okay, enough there. The last thing I just want to say is that I want you all to know that I don't think I'm unlike other professors, that grading is not my favorite part of being a professor. Helping students learn is really what professors really like to do. And so if I've made a mistake on any of your grading, or if you think the grading is unfair, please do call. I got a call last week from someone in the class. We made an adjustment to the grade based upon the conversation. I also got an email, a message this week from another student. The student was clearly correct. I had missed something in my grading of that student's work. I don't take offense at all when students point out that maybe I haven't been fair, or have made an error in my grading. So if you think something's off, please call. I welcome the call. What I would hate is to have you know, made a mistake in the grading or missed something, or have you feel that I've been unfair and yet not hear from you. Okay? That's all to say that I'm not going to pounce on you. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you learn. So, and to that point, you know, I have an early morning phone call with one of you tomorrow morning, um, and that student has sent me a series of questions to help that student better understand the material we're covering. Okay? All right, so I'll leave it there. It's been 11 minutes, sorry. Okay, take care. Thanks. Bye.